Best of 5 semi-finals. In the top left, we've got our blue Terran player from Mouse Sports. This is HeroMarine. Taking on the red Zerg in the bottom right, it's Lambo. Game 1 of this best of 5. As we kick this off, we get this underway. And we get this going. As we get settled into our first map of this semi-final. Like I say, it's been a while since I caught HeroMarine in the semis, but saw this TvZ possibility, and you guys know me, I can't keep my hands off a good TvZ. So, let's see how this is going to play out. As we have got an Overlord moving into the center to begin with here. A couple drones on the way up, getting things going. Just gonna see this Overlord coming through. Again, hatch, gas pool, all of this getting underway. I'm just gonna see our racks building up in this main base as well. So yeah, just getting a little bit of setup right now as our hatchery from Lambo and the natural expansion. Just gonna see this Overlord still coming up through the top. I was just gonna be seeing a couple of drones building, and really nothing too much to talk about just yet on Death Aura. Actually, kind of interested in the history between Lambo and HeroMarine. Feels like one of those ones where a little while ago, maybe, Lambo actually had some good results against HeroMarine, but I'm thinking, when was the last time Lambo beat HeroMarine? Wow, it was in March of 2019. Wow, that's a long time ago. He is actually, Lambo, not just on a match losing streak, he has lost 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, at least 15 maps in a row against HeroMarine in official tournaments, including a lot of semi-finals of these ESL Open Cup Europes. That is brutal. That is really brutal. So Lambo, I feel like right now, his first goal might just be to try and take a map in this series. As this Overlord going to get up to this high ground position. Factory is coming through, going to finish up shortly. There's that command center on the natural. Continuing to get going as well. There's a hatchery on the third base, and the Reaper trying to dance with the Zerglings as well. That's why I was kind of interested in that stat, because it does feel to me like it's a while since Lambo's been competitive against HeroMarine. I didn't realize it was quite that one-sided. Reaper and the Queen up against each other, as we do have the Reaper back up through the center. Now, first Hellions coming through. Pretty peaceful 3cc build from HeroMarine then. Will not be looking to do anything too aggressive too early on in this. Around the center, a couple of queens to the front. Starport is going to finish up, and double Hellion is going to be done as well. Queens from Lambo still building, and obviously getting those numbers up to help defend against this round of Hellions. Here's a couple of Lings being picked away at. A couple of drones popping out. These queens are going to be finishing. And there's our lair already starting up from Lambo in this main base, so... And that lair up and running. Raven is going to build on the starport, and... Just seen a couple extra Hellions continue to come on through. And a couple extra Queens continuing out, and this Queen's just going to be popping the creep tumors down. Just going to be seeing our Raven come into play, as our third CC is going to finish up as well. Yeah, and that Raven going to finish in just a few moments' time, so... A very interesting way to start out. Raven obviously looking to deny a lot of the creep spread, etc. With this fast layer of Lambo, there's going to be pretty fast mutas on the field. And with pretty fast mutas, you've got to be afraid for that Raven's longevity in this game. It's not going to have a lot of chance to harass in terms of auto turrets and mineral lines. Even just being able to keep it on the map, it's not going to be around for that long. So I wonder how much value he'll really be able to find from that. Throwing Hellions out down the bottom side. A couple of creep tumors go down pretty quickly here, as we'll just see that Bane Nest going to be finishing on the natural in a moment or two, and still our Hellions just picking away at a couple creep tumors right now. So some creep going down. There's our double engineering bay from HeroMarine. on the natural wall-off. So again, that wall-off set up as our stim pack's halfway done. Yeah, these Hellions still moving around this right side. There's a couple of these creep teamers being picked away at. So some creep already going down, and just seeing our Spire building in the back of the main base as well. Just going to be seeing our stim continuing through too. So yeah, looking okay over here. I kind of like it for HeroMarine, really. I mean, it feels like there's a lot of Hellions in the Raven, and I guess the Spire does well against that, but he's very quick to just go into that bio follow-up as well, the 3CC, and we'll see what Lambo can do with these mutas to bring the game back in his own kind of way, because he's down on Evo Chambers right now, so his upgrades are pretty late in comparison to HeroMarines. His advantage is that fast Baneling speed, and then, of course, the speed of these Mutalisks, so it's down to really the Mutalisks to deal some damage and to bring this game a little bit back for Lambo. Of course, his economy is fine. It's just if you're going to be playing down on upgrades, you need advantages elsewhere in numbers, or keeping the Terran away from fighting you. And again, that's exactly the sort of job of the mutas here. With again, the Bane speed for a little bit of extra safety initially too is this is nice. Going to get rid of even more creep teamers. Man, it's actually fantastic what you can do with this Raven. 18, 19 creep teamers killed, and it's all because you don't have to drop a single scan here as these Hellions so active on the map. Of course, creep teamers bonus damage from light now, because they are light. So they take bonus damage from the Hellions, and that's just an additional reason why this can work a little bit more than it used to. Even auto turrets to kill an Overlord, and I mean, that's just cute as long as he target fires the Overlord here, Marine. He realizes it, and he gets it. And he's still just picking off creep teamers, man. I mean, mutas are about to pop out. 7 of them on the map. And here, Marine starts to back away. This Raven is going to be trailing a little bit. The mutas are going to start catching it. There are a few Marines over on the third as we see... Yeah, the mutas are going to catch this, but there's Marines on the way through. They've got stim. The Raven didn't get an auto turret down. As Lambo makes one pick off here at least, but I'm a little afraid of what this army can do. 1-1 about to finish up. Combat shield's going to be there just soon, around the time this fight happens. We're going to take a few hits. These few creep teamers still dropping. Mutas actually just going to dive in for, well, one siege tank already taken down. The other tank gets lifted. And here, Marine out down the bottom side. Creep still getting cleaned up. The tank on the high ground. Just Lings and Banes running in from the right. The mutas want to come through too. All Lings on the bottom side of this. I mean, the big benefit is that he caught the siege tanks. If there was 2 siege tanks here from the start, it would feel way, way better for HeroMarine. And it still feels pretty great for him overall, but I don't know if he wants to like push down this ramp or anything without the splash damage. He's going to morph the Hellions to Hellbats though, which kind of says like, hey, yeah, I'm going to keep on fighting here. Even if he's just going to really camp the creep spread, right? Because if the creep doesn't get further forward than this, then you're basically just one scan away from being on top of a base. Nice Ling Bane from a couple different sides, though. HeroMarine's going to have to get creative with the splits. Might just have to lift up and try and get out of there. But then, of course, mutas could chase. Maybe if he'd saved 2 medevacs of Marines, he would have been a little bit better off. But even still, he gets out without too many losses. 2-2 is on the way, so HeroMarine looking to continue bidding for that upgrade advantage. As Drilling Claw sets up from HeroMarine, the plating on the armory. I'm still just seeing HeroMarine with medevacs and Marines around the top side. As our mutas, Lings, and Banes out on the bottom as well. Just going to see a few more Lings continuing across and seeing where else they can go. The few Marines showing up and just going to go and try and fight this. One Marine already goes down. One muta already goes down. The rest of these Marines going down too. Here comes HeroMarine down the right-hand side. A few of these creep teamers getting picked away at. So a couple of creep teamers go down. The Overlord picked off as well. And again, just going to see a scan as we have more creep wanting to establish out the right side. A 5th hatchery from Lambo in the bottom corner, and just going to be seeing our Queens continuing through. Mutas from Lambo still looking to see where they can go. Going to fly straight in. Multiple medevacs just kind of out on their own. Marines over on the right side. Kind of just in the middle of nowhere. Lings and Banes, where they want to be going to. There's a Thor coming in with the rest of this as well. The missile turret goes down. I mean, HeroMarine's still pretty stable back at home. Defensively, it's very hard for Lambo to justify taking a fight off creep into a position where HeroMarine's got room to split, reinforcements streaming in. It's not a fight you really want to take in the slightest as Lambo as he starts to make his way to an infestation pit. Problem is, HeroMarine's about to hit 2-2 upgrades. He's going to be on 8 racks now as well with 4 bases up. I feel like this next push, while Lambo's still on 1-1, is definitely scary. And this 2 medevac drop is actually really nice. It's made its way across the map, not being spotted by any creep. Lambo has nothing in the slightest amount of position at all to deal with this, so this is probably just a dead fifth hatchery. And that's not the end of the world right away, but it's definitely not great when the Terran is already up on 4 bases. As long as this 4th base stays alive, there's a lot of SCVs AFK here. Oh my god, he's going to catch the queens too. That's even better. If Lambo doesn't realize and transfuse, he's going to lose so much potential energy. Well, here's the attempt onto the 4th base, and well, the Zerglings aren't going to get it. Not enough Banes went on the planetary, so it survives, and HeroMarine, in the end, that might even help him because he had so many AFK SCVs there. Now he fixes those, keeps the planetary up. He lost some SCVs, of course, to the mutas, but they are very replaceable in a game like this. And I mean, these Marines just slot themselves in a corner, up in upgrades, so yeah, they'll get cleaned out here with the help of the mutas, but it's an expensive trade from Lambo, who's down 50 supply right now. HeroMarine comes marching down the right. I'm going to go straight into this 4th base as well. And yeah, I mean, realistically, does Lambo have enough to fight this off? He might be able to hold a wave or two, but this is an eventuality of just it being a bit too much, right? As our bio comes in, hatchery goes down. Everything's going to keep on dropping. The Banes are going to make a bid in for this right now. They blow up quite a lot. Widow Mines here, there, and everywhere. It's just still not going to be enough, though, as Lambo will leave the game to give HeroMarine the 1-0 lead in this best of 5. And HeroMarine comes out firing and increases his map win streak against Lambo by yet another game. Donation as in the top right. Up a game, our blue Terran player from Mouse Sports. Give it up if you're cheering on HeroMarine. Up 1-0 against our red Zerg in the lower left corner. This is Lambo here on Ice and Chrome. Big map for game number 2. I do wonder if HeroMarine brings out some mech here. He's not much of a mech guy, really. He does like to bring out mech on Ice and Chrome a lot, though. I feel like he's actually one of the players who reliably brings out mech on this map compared to others. So, getting this set up, Hatch Gas and Pool coming through. And you have a Rax going to finish in the main base. An SCV going to pop out of the CC. And, yeah, a little bit of setting up in these early stages. I mean, where did it all go wrong for Lambo in that last game? I mean, first of all, I feel like the initial creep spread clearing was absolutely amazing. That was really a, it was just continuous. It was just non-stop. And basically, Lambo had no creep to work with. And then that first push did well. Even if it didn't do everything maybe HeroMarine was hoping for. And the shutdown of the tanks was good. And it just came down to the real final blow was obviously when Lambo doesn't get that 4th base. And HeroMarine is able to deal damage on the other side of the map at the same time. Because I think the most damaging part of that for Lambo is the commitment he makes into the 4th base to not actually get it right. He lost so many banelings there. And that just means that moments later, HeroMarine is across the map taking fights that Lambo just can't hold on against. Fun matchup. Really fun matchup in game 1, though. I mean, HeroMarine definitely looking like the better player. The thing is, Lambo just, you know, he's able to put up a good fight. It's just the little things. HeroMarine getting those slight little advantages he's able to run away with for the most part. And speed coming up. Our factory is going to be done. HeroMarine double gas this time, so not going to be seeing a 3cc as we saw previously. A little bit different for this second game as the factory lifts off. Going to take that reactor. Hello, please and thank you. And of course, the starport as a follow-up here from HeroMarine. So you get that starport down. A couple of Hellions already producing. And the Overlord out to the side. Link speed, Overlord speed, all of this continuing up. And our Reaper is going to make an exit strategy up the right-hand side of this. And hey, what's up? Nomiostasis, thank you for the Prime, for the 2-month resub. Good stuff, my dude. Thank you so much for coming back for a second month on the channel. Appreciate it, buddy. As we do have our Link speed and our Overlord speed. He's going to be kicking in right now as our Overlords continue to come on into the middle of the map. And there's a Fusion Core startup. So HeroMarine is going to open with Battle Cruisers. And again, that does not surprise me in the slightest. Like I said, he likes mech on this map. To me, this really feels like it should be mech on this map. Battle cruisers are a fantastic way of getting into mech, believe it or not, on this map. Reaper and 2 Hellions around the left side. The Queens, the Lings, all building up here. I was just going to be seeing our couple of extra Overlords continue to build. I mean, all of these Queens coming on through, and just going to have that command center of HeroMarine the Third in the front. I mean, this is the power of the Overlord speed from Lambo, of course, because now he knows exactly what HeroMarine is up to from early in the game, and that's the reason you invest into Overlord speed like this. And this is one of those scenarios where it works out from a very early stage. He's going to go Roach Roaring in the lair. I'd imagine this is a lair. No lair would be very strange, because generally you want to go Roaches and Aspire with this against the BCs, but no lair? Is there an all-in that works against this? Because obviously defensively the Battlecruiser is pretty great. So generally, if you're going to all-in against it, the BC can hold a lot of those all-ins. Depends where the BC is at when the all-in strikes. Lambo's kind of past all-in territory, so it is going to be a lair. It was just a few moments late. Again, like I say, usually that lair and Roach Roaring come down at a similar time. Lambo definitely had the money to drop it a bit sooner. Yeah, lair just a necessity, right? Because again, you really do want the Spy. You need to get to Corruptors against these BCs, or you need to get to Mutas, but I think with the way that he's playing with the Roach Roaring this early, this should be Roaches and Mutas for, Roaches and Corruptors for sure. Hellions and a Reaper in the center. 2 extra factories. Again, no surprise to see HeroMarine playing the mech here on Ice and Chrome. Like I say, it's almost like he's just... I mean, he is predictable. I mean, it's one of the strengths of HeroMarine, that he can be so predictable and yet so consistent even still. And I don't mean predictable in terms of, like, you know, he can build some, you know, do some trickier builds. He doesn't just do the same build every time. But you can know for sure that on Ice and Chrome, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to play mech against you if you're a Zerg. You know, whether it's a BC opener or like a Hellbat into BC, you know, like a double factory opening or something, it will lead to mech though, so you can have that general idea before you go in. And yet he's still so good, he can still also often find so much damage. It's crazy. Hellions picking off more of these Crypt Tumors here as we'll see our Spire coming up onto that natural expansion. Roach speed is building. I'm just going to be seeing our Marine pushing the Overlord away through the top side. A couple of extra gases coming in as well. Just going to see a 4th hatchery on the right, so building up hatchery number 4 for the moment here. Again, 10 Roaches coming out. Roach speed about halfway done. We'll see what Lambo's choice is, because you do get a choice in this scenario. You get a choice between basically going for a Roach Ravager Corruptor max out all in, or you can obviously tech up beyond the Roach Ravager and Corruptors, sometimes to Swarm Hosts, sometimes to... well, Swarm Hosts are kind of like the most usual go-to, but you can kind of go into like Hive Tech and think about Broodlords sometimes as well. Sometimes... there's been a few styles. I mean, actually, a lot of players against mech have obviously just gone for, like, Mutas a lot of the time lately, so it's kind of weird to almost see kind of, like, Roach Corruptor again. It really has not been the common go-to as of late. Queen's going to fight here. Double Yamato. He's going to half that Queen counter. Whoa, was that not double Yamato? Or was I just miscounting the Queens? It was double Yamato, right? Was it on the same Queen? Did he hit a Creep Tumor by mistake? I don't know. Anyways, Corruptor showing up, and this is obviously what you're looking for. Hellions down the bottom side. One of these Queens goes down. The Corruptors and Queens still fighting. BC will teleport away back up to the top. And a couple of armories still just building from HeroMarine in the back of the natural expansion. Lings and Roaches setting themselves up together. All of these Hellions still joining up. And another command center from HeroMarine in the middle of the map. And the answer, by the way, to the earlier question is this is just going to be a Roach Ravager Corruptor maxed out. No Evo Chambers or anything even for upgrades. He's just going to kind of go for this. Now, again, the idea is the Corruptors deal with the BCs. The Roaches and Ravagers kill everything on the ground. Let's see if it works out here. There is a couple extra tanks by the set up. He's going to force this Orbital to maybe have to lift up right away. There's a lot of Corruptors Caustic spraying. Well, here we go. Roaches and Ravagers running in. A lot of Roaches and Ravagers fighting Hellions off down to the bottom here. I'm just going to fly through, chasing those BCs. The first BC he's targeting does have a teleport, doesn't get it off, though. A lot of these tanks going down. There's still one tank remaining. There's more tanks deeper in on this space. The orbital from the third is in the main and still alive. Not a bad start, though, from Lambo. And I think he might be about to lose his map loss streak here against HeroMarine. He catches the BC back in the main. Problem is now you never get BCs back in play because there's just too many corruptors. Good news, though, is, of course, those corruptors don't really have much to target of, what do they really kill here. And so the Cyclones coming out can push them away rather easily. The best the corruptors can do is a couple of caustic sprays here and there, but it's tough to get in position as realistically now. Lambo is just going to push through for a win, I think. There's only a couple of Cyclones up. There's a lot of lanes, and HeroMarine knows it. Lambo has the numbers, and this Roach Ravager Corruptor Max is good to put Lambo level in the semi-finals. Top right side, our blue Terran player. This is HeroMarine. Bottom left. It is Lambo. Taking a map, like I say, first map in 15 plus maps they've played in official tournaments. What a result that is. As we go into game number 3 here. Best of 5, of course. And I'm just going to be seeing the spawning pool from Lambo finishing up in the main. Again, not much to say in the early stages. Eternal Empire, pretty nice map for the Terrans. One that they definitely enjoy playing a bit of bio on for sure. I'd be surprised if HeroMarine falls back to mech at any point of this series now. Just with the way that last game went, obviously, and it really just... I mean, it was, Ice and Chrome is more or less one of the better maps for mech as well, so it doesn't really make too much sense to move away from bio to play more mech now on maps which are typically just worse for mech than they are for bio, you know? I'm going to fly with a few of these lings. And ends up backing away the Zergling speed from Lambo in that main base, and the bunker finishing on the third base location. As Queen showing up, and that Reaper is going to get chased away in the end, as Link speed is about halfway done. Again, Command Center finishing up on the natural. Third CC from HeroMarine in that main base. Just going to be seeing Reactor on the barracks. Factory about to complete. So all of this just continuing to come on through in the next little while. Double Reaper from HeroMarine even, so he really is going kind of very aggro with the Reapers early. Didn't kill anything yet. Yeah, he did build this bunker here, so he's really making a bid to slow down the third. Now, that's a very fast lair from Lambo. It's a super quick lair, so 3.5 minutes, really making a bid for faster Mutalisks here for sure. Unless he wants to do something really out of the ordinary like Nidus, but he's taking a second gas. There's no sign of a Roach Row, and so again, this kind of does just, smell like a Spire for the moment here. As you see target fire on this Queen. That Queen taking a few shots. Ling's now going to run in. Again, continue to do pretty well. Jumping back into this bunker, and yeah, they're going to get the kill on quite a lot of these Lings. I mean, that's a big investment of Lings just to push this back. Good save on the Queen, though. That Queen was very low. Let's have a look at it. In fact, there it is. Very low Queen, and that's a really nice save. However, a couple of Hellions showing up in this base. Hasn't been taken still. Too many Lings to justify, but again, you force a lot of units here as HeroMarine. This is not an unsuccessful start just because the hatchery now goes down. He gets a Queen too. Wasn't even the Queen we were talking about, so that's another Queen, and that means that the Queen that remains alive is still low HP. I mean, only one Reaper went down, and of course, the Reaper is very expendable. Hellions are the real power unit from this point on. The Reapers are just like a nice little additional touch. We do have Stimpack already building from HeroMarine in the main base. He's getting 2 more barracks in the main as well. And there is that Spire from Lambo. So we talked about that faster Spire play. It needs to do some damage here. 100% if you go Spire this quickly, you need to deal some damage in this early stages of the game. Bunch of Hellions and the Reaper down the bottom side. Third hatchery coming through. There's that Baneling nest on the natural expansion to accompany this Spire, of course. Like I said, it's not quite the usual kind of go-to. This is more kind of 2 base meter than kind of 2.5 base meter, which is what we usually see. It's a nice catch for the Lings, though HeroMarine wasn't expecting that. If that Hellion on the right side does not go down, I mean, it must, right? The other Lynx can turn around to kill it. Nice recovery, as that could have been oh so much worse. Of course, at this stage of the game, one of the big dangers is always going to be that sort of stage of the game where, things can get a little bit tricky, things can get a little bit scary. Missile turrets building here from HeroMarine. As we'll have Lambo with an Overseer up on the top. A couple of mules dropping down into this third base, and just going to be seeing the SCVs pulled in to repair up the Hellions. Doing a pretty decent job of this so far. So a few Hellions getting repaired on up. Good set of Marines between the natural and the third, and just going to be seeing all of these mutas about to pop out from Lambo. With that Baneland speed still on the way up on the Bane Nest. Hellions gonna, again, stick around that left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing the Armory and other Engineering Bay continuing to come on through. Combat Shield is coming up on the Tech Lab. And again, Lings and Mutas. Just moving around the map. Just a quick update that our other semi-final will be Clem versus Max Packs, by the way. Again, that will be over on Roddy's stream, but definitely going to keep a close eye on that, because last time I saw Clem Max Packs best of 5, it was pretty darn amazing. So definitely going to watch a little bit more for that. As this Armory finishes up, a factory drops down on the natural. Marines going to get healed. A few Hellions setting up as well. And again, these mutas of Lambo continuing all the way down the bottom side. Some creep on the way up from Lambo as well. Let's continue to push this out onto the map. A couple of extra racks coming through, +2 attack, +1 armor. Again, melee upgrades also coming in on evolution chambers already, as Lambo is looking to be poised to make a strike into this natural perhaps in the next few moments. Definitely some possibilities there. In general, HeroMarine just bringing this Marine Hellion around. It's looking pretty okay, huh? Yeah, I mean, the problem is these mutas didn't do much, and that's always the issue, right? We talk about these early mutas. They're meant to do something. Right now, HeroMarine has an upgrade lead. Only one Engineering Bay was in play initially, though, so only a +1 lead, but it's still an upgrade lead. He still has a couple of earlier Hellions, now moved into Hellbats, this first push forward. It's just scary when the mutas didn't do much. The mutas are meant to stop this army from arriving on this side of the map, and it just straight up hasn't. They just straight up didn't do that job, and so you're going to trade. Even if you trade out here as Lambo, it's not really great for you, because it's exactly what HeroMarine wants. He wants to trade with better upgrades on his side. A fight where this Overseer tries to draw on top of the Marines, and that's going to force a lift up. Will HeroMarine get away? I actually don't think he does. These Lings are going to show up underneath, and this might have been a bad pickup from HeroMarine. He's going to lose a medevac. The Lings really getting a lot of kills here. Lambo really striking at a nice time. Banes are going to get all of those Widow Mines too, and suddenly HeroMarine's in a lot of trouble. He overstepped his boundary. He picked up at the wrong moment, and all of a sudden there are Lings and Mutas and everything in this natural expansion. This Bane's about to show up as well. This missile turret won't last forever. A couple of Widow Mines burrow up. I'm not sure what they're going to go off on. Looks like a pretty good cluster of Lings and Banes getting caught by those Widow Mines. As Lambo realizes nothing left in the natural, but there's an entire third base to pick away at as well, so he's going to try his luck over there. But there is a bunker up, and wow, HeroMarine salvages a terrible situation. And that really got out of control very quickly. Wow. So what went wrong for HeroMarine? I mean, basically the Overseer dragged the final Widow Mine shot onto the Marines, so that A, they were hurt. And then HeroMarine decides to lift and run, but there's actually just, the mutas are just close enough. It's not like the mutas had already backed away. Like, if the mutas had targeted Widow Mine backed up, and then you lift and run, you get that little bit of a head start. And he just didn't have any reinforcements on the way, so he had nowhere safe to drop those Marines off. And then obviously the Widow Mines burrowed up all on top of each other, and it was just a flurry of, hasty mistake, or hasty decisions, and hasty things being done by HeroMarine, which obviously had a couple of mistakes in them, and Lambo really tried his best to capitalize, and yet here he stands. I feel like this should have been a way better situation for Lambo. It even feels like he didn't even trade that well in the end, which is really astounding. It's just credit to how good HeroMarine can be. It's a Ling run by onto a base that has a bunker. I'm not sure what that's really meant to achieve. I guess mutas are going to come across. Well, there's so many reinforcements here, though, and you're going to need to defend this forward base. Lambo's pulling away to deal with a drop in the natural, so the forward base is in. I mean, it's just going to die, so he loses the Rich Vest being gas. This counterattack does absolutely nothing, and suddenly it's a flurry of mistakes from Lambo. Just a horrible couple of moments where nothing goes right. The Widow Mine gets 20 kills almost. Oh no. This went from... this went from being, almost like everything you ever want as a Zerg to everything you never want to happen. I can't believe this Hatcher on the low ground goes down. He's going to lose this base here. At least he gets the cancel, but Widow Mines are going to trade out with some of these Lings as well for sure. And again, a good few Banes in that mix. Now, the mutas are going to chase down this army, but I mean, this is, again, just nowhere near where it's meant to be. This ain't pretty, and again, you're going to lose quite a lot in the end as HeroMarine, but they're trading out for it. You're getting some good connections from the Thor. You've killed drones, and the biggest thing is the fact that Lambo is now reset onto 3 bases, while you take a 4th base in a forward position that you can keep pushing forward from. I mean, this is just going to be really rough, as our Marine is going to pick up a couple of these queens. Marine's coming through, wouldn't mind. Didn't want to update, just didn't want to go off just yet. I mean, his Bane's going to go down here. Marine just has too much. Man, this is honestly, you know, what an opportunity that Lambo had, and what a turnaround it was from HeroMarine, because now he's just going to take this fight, and again, Lings and Mutas will not trade against Marines. Need a few Banelins in this. Lambo knows it's over. That's why the Mutas aren't backing away. GG, and HeroMarine is going to go to the 2-1 lead, but that got scary. Honestly, I thought that HeroMarine was trading just nicely here. It's kind of what he wanted, and he just made the decision to lift instead of trading out. And that's where it all went wrong. But then he still made it work. And that's just the magic and the power of HeroMarine. For our 4th game, let's get this one started, as we have in the upper right-hand side the blue Terran player. This, on match point, is HeroMarine. And the bottom left-hand side, it is going to be our Red Zerg Lambo. You know, I really feel like if you had a few Balins with that counterattack onto the 3rd base, I mean, maybe then you do okay. You bust the depot/bunker down, and then you get a lot of SCVs. The problem is he never really got any damage done with that, and he did lose a lot of units, and that was obviously the issue. That was kind of the problem that was coming around. That was kind of it was kind of rough, honestly. Kind of rough. Interesting game. Definitely want to go back to, and yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of want to go back and you know, look over that game. I feel like there's a lot of different moments you can really pinpoint that were turning points or possible opportunities that weren't taken in the best possible way. Again, everything happened so quickly a lot of the time. As we get ourselves into this game 4. Again, best of 5 here in the semi-finals. Winner of this will play the winner of Clem versus Max Pax, which is the other semi-final. It's only just about to start, so we're pretty likely to catch a good portion of that semi-final as well. Alright, well, Command Center on the way down on this Nat, just waiting to get underway. This is just going to be 1 Reaper this time, so double Reaper last game. A lot of that comes down to the fact that on Eternal there's not really an alternate 3rd base you can take, whereas on this map you can take this base or this base. They both have not positives and negatives, but there is an alternative for Lambos, so if you can't really just put like a bunker down and really make a bid to stop that hatchery going up when your opponent, you know, on this map, because then your opponent just takes the other one. He says, well, you know, you've made an investment that doesn't do much for you. On Eternal Empire, again, it absolutely, you know, you absolutely get value out of that, so. Reaper comes in, Ling's taking some shots, Queen is here, and the Reaper gonna get pushed away. A second gas is not taken, so this is a 3cc build order again from HeroMarine, so spicing it up once more. Keeping it a little bit different all the way throughout this for the most part. I like it, you know, keeping us on edge, keeping us guessing a little bit as to what is happening as our factory lifts off and is going to go take a reactor. HeroMarine starport already on the way in. I'm just waiting to see what's going to be next. There's a few Lings and the Queen on the creep spread. Ling speed going to finish up. And yeah, the Reaper just darting around here, there, and everywhere to try and see what exactly is going on. Killings on the way up, as we'll see our third CC of HeroMarine finishing here as well. We do see a Reaper and a couple of Hellions out in the center, and I mean, from Lambo, we're not really seeing a quick play into a lair or anything just yet. 411 right now, and he's got gas in the bank to do with as he wishes. He could just double Evo at this game and go melee upgrades. I wouldn't mind that as a switch up, honestly. There's the Link showing up, trying to get a wrap around the Hellions, but HeroMarine's paying attention, so he gets the shot. He doesn't run into them. He doesn't take any free damage himself, so he is going to be able to back away from that pretty easily and without really taking any damage at all initially. As the double Evos, as I kind of alluded to from Lambo. It just kind of makes sense, right? Lair's not in the way. What else are you going to do with that gas? So yeah, I like that Lambo's trying something different, though, because really the faster middleists have done very little in this series. Both the games he went faster meters off the start were unsuccessful. Obviously, the second game he won was not Bio, it was against Mech, and he went for the Spire for Corruptors then, so you can't really compare that one, I suppose. Throwing out some rocks, opening up pathways. Obviously, the Zerg loves that. Options to surround and counter-attack always are good things, generally, for the Zerg player in his EVT. It's the Terran that wants to keep things in one direction, make it easy to split, not worry about having to go in different ways and all that good stuff. Obviously gives their splash damage just one direction. Things clump up more, so then the splash damage is more effective as well, right? So a lot of reasons why the Terrans generally wouldn't want these rocks going down. So even more reason for the Zerg to kill them off. HeroMarine pretty adventurous with these Hellions. He's got the Liberator that we saw building earlier. 2 drones, and that's going to be it. Pretty quick shutdown from Lambo. Nice to actually get the kill on it too. One less thing to worry about continuing into the next stage of the game for sure. And these Hellions are going to make their way down the bottom. That's going to be a hatchery that takes a few shots, but obviously nothing that should go down. As the melee upgrades will finish, again, one of the big issues when you go melee upgrades will always be the Baneling speed timing. Your Bane speed is just not going to be here when 1-1 of the Terran finishes and they make that first big bio push with a couple of tanks. So that's why you got to be kind of, pretty good with the Lings, maybe a counterattack setup as well to start off. Buy yourself that little bit of extra time for the Baneling speed to be ready, for the Banelings to get out onto the map, and for that whole kind of positive to come around, more or less. As our medevacs make their way down the bottom side, and that's a lot of Lings up to the top. Definitely wanting to make their way into one of these mineral lines, I'm sure. Exactly what I'm kind of talking about, right? It's not quite as 1-1 as done for the Terran just yet, but the idea is definitely there as the Marines load back up and back away pretty quickly. So hatchery down the bottom side. The Marines setting up, Marines pushing through. There's going to be a few creep tumors going down as the push on HeroMarine in the bottom right doing well. See these Lings being picked away at as well. Marines getting out down that bottom side and just going to be having the Lings of Lambo continuing through the top. I mean, this is the counterattack, right? Yeah, I mean, he finished up Bane speed now, so there's not as much to worry about when it comes to these Terran attacks. It's a run by you need an exit strategy on. You don't want to just lose those Lings when they don't get into the natural. And there's good creep spread on the map, something that HeroMarine definitely needs to make a play against. He starts now with this little bit of clear up. Yeah, I kind of like it for Lambo. The only thing is he is playing no lair upgrade or no lair units, so he's just going to play Ling Bane. He's going to have the faster hives. He's going to go into pretty quick ultras. It's very good against a Terran who wants to be like hyper aggressive. It's maybe not so good against someone who does add on that second factory and looks for the 4 base right away anyway. It's still a viable style. It's just, it's really good at shutting down someone who tries to end the game too soon because you just have so much Ling Bane and the ultras come out and they don't really have a way to deal with that. Now it kind of lets HeroMarine get up to this sort of stage of the game without any real concerns until Ultra's out. So obviously you can set up a little bit more, you know, ahead of time for the Ultras, although I feel like that was not a bad set of trades for Lambo. HeroMarine comes out ahead on supply though, so it's a tough one to call for sure. As Amanda continue to back away. Aliens Marines continuing through. Widowmine's coming up, and it's a lot of lanes continue to run into this. Widowmine in hit's going to be interesting here. Actually went off toward the Queen, if I'm not mistaken. Man, there's just pure lings against these Marines. 2-2 finishes during the fight, but towards the tail end of it. And because of that, HeroMarine's just taking better trades, and he just wins out the game. And just a show of dominance here, really, from HeroMarine. Looking fantastic. And he wins this out 3-1 over Lambo, and goes to the grand finals of